What's up, everybody? How are we doing today? Oh man, we got some interesting action here. Drop down all afternoon and then a little surge down for the overnight session. Yeah, it should be interesting. Should be interesting for sure. Morning, Paul. Hey, Freedom. Hey, Kellen. I'm feeling pretty good today. Feeling much better. Amazing what one day of rest and water and vitamins and all that can do. Hey, Gary. Welcome from Kentucky, eh? Excellent. As you can tell from my voice, I'm not from Kentucky. Sub Florida, Kevin Hawthorne, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Give me a sec, guys. I'm gonna grab my tea real quick as we get going this morning. Thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. We got Jockey from the Netherlands, Tommy from NC. I like all the location updates, guys. That's kind of fun. James, Michael, Joanne, good morning to you guys. Daryl, what's up? Alright, so let's take a look at the day's action. Just make sure everything's good here. Yeah, so like I said, kind of an interesting move down yesterday afternoon. We got back down below that one high we had broken. The overnight session started with a pretty steep drop down, so it's going to be interesting to see if there's any follow through on this move. We'll know pretty quickly whether the selling was legit or if this is just trying to get some orders to launch back up. But we'll find out. We got this move down. Got a pullback. Might expect a second leg here. Currently, we are testing yesterday's low, so far rejecting off of it. And I believe we do have some news today. We already got through unemployment claims, which were lower than what was forecasted. Believe that was it, actually. Yesterday was JOLTS and all that. I forgot. It looks like those numbers kind of came in mixed We didn't really see too much of a reaction from that. And again, tomorrow, Friday, we do have a few economic numbers. We got through everything for today. So we'll see how the market digests everything. We got about 3.5 minutes till the open now. And switching over to the Nasdaq. It appears this pullback's much more than just a pullback on the Nasdaq. It's nearly retraced that entire move. We're going to redraw our key levels here. We're right at yesterday's low again, just like the S&P. So far rejecting off of it, but it could easily bounce above, especially on the New York Open. Could consider a lower high below the 21. We already have one lower high already. Right there. If we break through the 21 and get another lower high, we'll consider taking that. Same on the S&P. Good morning, Julian. Hey, Yamaha. Everything is well. Yes, indeed. After a day of rest yesterday, got my tea rocking today. Should be good. Minute and a half now till market open. Watching this bar here. If it forms a really strong lower high, I might consider taking this short. But we're moving pretty slow right now. Yeah, no, that ended up as a doji. Cancel, 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 cancel. Ah, it's not canceling, guys. Okay, whew. Man, oh man. That was a little sketchy. Looks like we're going to have to wait for the open and see what happens here. Here we go, baby. Market is open. Let's see if the selling was legit or just a way to generate some orders for the bulls. Nasdaq closed below the 21, so did ES. Again, with a lower high, I'll consider taking a short here. Good morning, Neil. Morning, everyone else who's just popping in. Make sure you say what's up as you're coming into the chat today, guys. So we start off this beautiful Thursday. Did this bar tick above the previous one? No, it looks like there it did. Okay, so now if this turns down, this is definitely our lower high that we want to take. That's a pretty decent bar. I'll give it a shot. Unless, of course, it makes a new high above that. Oh, so close. I'm about to cancel this. Yep. Canceled. We're gonna have to get this some more time. Nasdaq still below the 21, seeing a little bit of weakness there. Ooh, look at that bar on ES. Bears are making an attempt, that's for sure. Another bearish bar by ES while NQ maintains below the 21. Certainly seems like we might get a push down. Still waiting for that lower high on the S&P to take the short. And Nasdaq leading the charge, man. Look at that. Big push down. Looks like it wants to make a new low. Challenge that overnight level. And let's check out what other levels we have to the downside here on the Nas. The next stop would be this unbroken low from a couple days ago. We got plenty of room to get to there. S&P does have a lower high here. Kind of hard to take with how far down it moved already. But I'll take a risk on this. If I can get my order in time. No, it didn't even set up. We got an inside bar. Indecision by the market. Tom, good morning. Yes, I am feeling much better today. Honestly surprised. I thought I was going to be out for a couple of days, but tell you what, you get ahead of the colds, get plenty of sleep, take enough vitamins, drink enough water. It's amazing what your body can do. So I'm feeling pretty solid. All right. ES making another run for that low from yesterday. All right, there's the move down for NQ. It is now officially testing that overnight low. We'll see if it has follow through. ES remaining a bit stubborn. Julian, you're right. I just missed you guys. It's true. It's true. Yes, basically forming a range up here. Would I consider scalping the range on ES? Not really, because NQ's not in a range. I'd really want to see both of them doing that. Ooh, but this is a tempting bar to scalp to the upside here. This is actually quite tempting. Alright, didn't finish strong. If it finished strong, may have considered it. NQ made a new low there. See if we get a bounce now that that trend has played out. ES remaining strong, holding that range support. Buyers losing aggression. Yeah, does look like it. There's been several attempts to try to get back above that level up there. NQ certainly not having any of it. But at the same time, ES is holding pretty strong, so buyers could be building a position here. DTOM asking what's my background color? Yes. Yes it is. All of them, all the colors. I believe we got some blues and some purples and oh, dang. Here we go. Gotta get my news feed up. This is feeling newsy. For sure feeling newsy. But not seeing anything yet. Oh, the chart background color? It'd be called cream, my guy. I don't know why we're LOLing in my chart background colors. It's a little bit hurtful. I'm curious. It does have a name. No, you're digging the colors in the room. Okay. All right. I am curious what my... It's something... chart colors are the same as like paint colors. They're like weird. You get these weird names. You're like, let's just call it white. Why don't we just call it white? It's like Queen Anne's lace. What? Like what? Come on. You bet, Light and Freedom. It's great to trade with you guys too. NQ, continued weakness. It is now about to test yesterday's low. This is quite the move on the NAS. And all the major names hitting lows too. Nvidia, Meta, Apple, Netflix. Which, obviously, if NQ is dropping, all those names are probably dropping too. ES still has a way to go, though. Kellen says, my bias was bullish today on ES, having a hard time letting go of that. Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the hardest things to do in trading is to let the price action determine your bias, not the other way around. But I will say you should not really have too much of a bias when the market opens, because really anything can happen. Like, wait 30 minutes. Wait 30 minutes of the New York session before you even start to be like, okay, this is the bias for the day. Because yeah, really anything can happen. So even still, right? Even once you do establish something, you still have to be wary of your own bias because things can change. But yeah, it shouldn't be something that you come into the market with a bias. Let the price action develop. We were getting quite the bounce here. NQ bouncing off yesterday's low. So we're monitoring this bounce, especially on the ES. If it gets above that key level from yesterday, we're going to start to be bullish. Yeah, exactly, Kellen. 6958-ish. Lows from yesterday, basically. Watching NQ here again as it bounced off yesterday's low. We'll see if that's a legitimate bounce or just the dead cat before we make another leg down. Yes, this little uptrend technically already played out. Move up here, break outside of the channel and a new high, so we would expect to move down. Actually might take this lower high here. Uptrend played out. Expecting another leg down. We'll see how this bar closes though. Yeah, closed above the EMA, so I'm skipping. NQ looks like it's going to make another attempt at breaking yesterday's low. That would be a pretty big development if it breaks that. All right, ES, we're getting that double lower high here. This is a good bearish bar. I'm going to take it. So far, not looking like it. Yep, close above the 21. Can't take that. Bulls are not done on the S&P. And NQ also bouncing a little bit above the 21. Starting to look pretty decent for the bulls here. I'm going to take an experimental long on the S&P. The notion that we are going to retest that level there. This is just an experiment, folks. Not a, what do you call it? Not a proven strategy here. I always got things in the lab I'm cooking up, things that I'm trying out. I think we get the push up here. NQ also looks like it wants to make a little pop. Don't know how much there will be follow through, but maybe at least one little pop. Which, if there's any move upwards in the Nasdaq, it's going to send the ES flying. With how strong the S&P has been this morning, relatively. But vice versa, if the ES drops, the Nasdaq's going to drop hard. All right. We will take our paper cut here. Did not get the pop we were looking for. Ooh, this could surprise us. Nope. NQ back down below the 21. All right, we're going to take this lower high, Nasdaq back down below the 21. This uptrend is technically played out on the S&P. If we can get a tick below that previous bar, we're going to take that short. Need the Nasdaq to start following through now to the downside. And I'm not going to give this too much room, as we still don't have a bias for the day. We're still pretty choppy, but we can get a little scalp, we'll take a little scalp. Looking especially at, yeah, nice. It's a nice little push down. Looking at this little swing low. And Nasdaq is like right at that key level too. I think I'll trail above each bar probably. Come on. Need this next bar to follow through. Nope. We'll take the scratch. Choppy price action, that's for sure. Should have probably trailed a little sooner, got a little greedy, thought we were going to get one more push. But hey, as long as you're protecting your risk, it's all good. So take the break even instead of letting it run against you. Well, back into the range for the S&P. It has not really been able to break out of this whole big congestion here. And I think now I'm going to probably wait till we get to one of the extremes. We already tried a couple trades in the middle, and clearly this is the middle of the range, as neither of them had any solid follow through. Don't diddle in the middle, folks. Wait till we get a move to the edges of the range. We could try to play the range itself, or if we have a legit breakout, then we will look to monitor that and join the trend. Right now, we just got to be patient, wait for the bias to present itself. Starting to look like a bear, a complete bear bias on NQ. This push down will tell us a lot whether we hold below yesterday's low or not. So looking at the possibility of taking a long on ES at the bottom of the range. However, if Nasdaq continues to move to the downside, we will not be doing that. NQ still moving down, so I'm not really interested in the long here at the range support. Oof, this is a nice bar. Pretty tempting here, I'm not gonna lie, to take this long. Pretty dang tempting. But I'm gonna hold off and have some better judgment here. We got a higher low on the S&P, making it even more tempting to jump in here. But with NQ staying below yesterday's low, I'm still gonna stay out. Could work, but not worth it for me. That's how they get you, Must. Exactly. That is how they get you. Right, NQ starting to try to get back above yesterday's low. If NQ can hold above yesterday's low, that is when we can really start taking longs confidently. It's basically been the thing holding us back is the weakness on tech, but if it ceases to be weak, all right. I do like this push up. NQ is safely back above its level, so I could consider a long if it sets up. A little bit of an overshoot on the S&P as it's pushed up here. I think NQ especially has a lot of room to run, so I'm very interested in looking for a long here. Might take an experimental one, actually. Yeah, I'm taking an experimental long on NQ. I'm also going to get long ES. I do think we push above this level here. Here goes ES right above yesterday's low. And this is the new level you want to watch for. If it stays above this, we're going to be bullish. Moving my stop to break even. So we got a guaranteed trade here, free money if it keeps going. Nice, I like that push up. I think I'll trail below bars. NQ also got that going. We're going to trail below bars. Lock in gains along the way. And if it keeps running, it keeps running. But there we go. Stopped in profit on that one. Still in on the S&P. Got a nice little uptrend going now. Looks like we'll probably get a pullback soon. And now we'll guarantee a little win here if we do. All right, so now watching very closely this pullback. Watching very closely this pullback. We want to see this key level hold. So we want to see us come down, get a nice bounce, retest it, get a bullish bar here, and that's going to be our entry. Same on the NQ. We got a little move up. Looking for that pullback, looking for the EMA to hold. We'll take long. Must asking what criteria do I use for experimental trades? A lot of different ones, man. I got a lot of different stuff I'm testing. A lot of it is just intuition. And a lot of it is just reading price action. Like, hey, I've seen this a lot of times before. I think it's going to do this. So, unfortunately, that's not something I can really teach, which henceforth why it's experimental. But I can teach the proven criteria that I use day in, day out. And it's just as good. You don't need anything. I think people get excited like, oh, experimental. Oh man, something new, something different. Stick with what works. If you were just to trade second entry longs, you could do just fine and make yourself a nice little career. So move up, look for that two-legged pullback, look for a bullish bar. Bada bing, bada boom. Discretionary, yeah. Getting pretty close to that overnight high, and we'll see if ES can hold above this level. NQ not really pulling back like we'd want it to. If it does, we'll be ready. But ES definitely looks a lot better. We still haven't really touched the EMA on ES, so I'm not ready just yet. Oof, getting a little pop there on S&P. Did not give us the setup. And now it does look like this little move up played out for the time being. Would expect a move down at this point, and I would consider a double lower high, especially if we get down below yesterday's low, that key level there. Same on the Qs. We do have a little break outside of the channel, new high. I'd be looking for a short. And so on that notion, I'm going to take a little experimental position on NQ. Just looking for a little pop back to the EMA. We'll play this very tight. Unfortunately, ES already got there. So ES kind of already had that little correction. So it might have another push up. But if ES puts in a really good looking lower high, could consider it. Did that move? That's not a lower high. It didn't quite tick above the previous bar, did it? So we're just going to have to be patient on ES, see if we can push down below the EMA. Already scratched out of NQ. But maybe we'll get another opportunity. Not a good enough bearish bar to short for me here on ES. Getting a little whippy out there, guys. Getting a little whippy. There's some contention going on at this area. EMA still holding here on the ES. Again, if we get a push down, if we get a lower high, we'll be looking to short that on the S&P. But this might turn into a legitimate uptrend as we've broken above that key level. We may get like some sort of secondary channel like this. So we're kind of stuck between two possibilities, waiting to see what the market's going to do with this. We're getting a little push down below the EMA. Let's see if there's follow through here. NQ also still continuing to grind up. It does look like it has a possibility of forming the secondary channel. There we go. ES popping again. That's an interesting little lower high. Didn't go below the EMA, but quite the reversal on that bullish bar we had. This is definitely a time on the chart to be patient and see what's going to happen. We have several conflicting things that just need to be resolved. Overall, it's looking more bullish than bearish. The S&P has been chopping around, did not have follow through off of this overnight move. Had this big move down. We would expect another leg, never really got it. We had a couple attempts here, another attempt here, and instead we pushed above the key level and so far are holding it. So that's the bullish case for the S&P. But this move up already has a break and a new high. We would expect price action wise to get a leg down. So that's kind of the bearish case. On Nasdaq has been looking very bearish all morning. We had this big downtrend, but it already played out. right at this key level and we get a bounce. So that looks pretty bullish for NQ, but also this little uptrend looks played out. So overall, it looks more bullish than bearish. However, the current uptrends are played out and we would expect a pullback of some variety. So we're just kind of waiting to see what that pullback brings, how deep it is, if it challenges key levels again, and if it plays itself out and it proves to be not that deep, we'll be ready for long. So I would say favor the long side a little bit more right now. But as always, things can change. So it's been good to be with you guys this morning. Looking forward to trading with the Discord team. Looks like we have some pretty decent price action today. So yeah, we're going to get after that. Hope you all have a wonderful trading day, and I will see you back tomorrow. Take care.